All right. Ho, ho, ho. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, guys. Welcome to the Tuesday Night Principled Chiro broadcast. I'm Dr. Brian Moriarty, your esteemed MC for tonight's exciting call with Dr. Haig John coming up in a little bit, guys. But I want to wish everybody, hope everybody had a great holiday, great Christmas, great Hanukkah as that wraps up, great Kwanzaa, any other holidays we're celebrating. I'm kind of a Christmas guy, hence the Christmas lights in the background. We had a great Christmas over here. So hopefully you and yours had a great holiday getting together, and I hope that you're looking forward to a great new year. And with a new year comes a new Dynamic Essentials meeting. Lee, do we have a graphic on that we can put up there for our next DE coming up January 20th to the 21st? If we do, let's put that on the screen. There we go. January 21st to the 24th there in Atlanta. Don't forget the hotel change. This is going to be at the Renaissance Waverly Hotel. We're kicking it old school to kick off 2021. We're kicking it old school because we're old fools. Back at the Waverly there, that's going to be a great hotel. Going to be a lot of memories, a lot of history going to be shared there. You don't want to miss this one, guys. First one, start 2021 right. Get your butt to DE. I don't know what else I could say to get you there. We're all going to be there. It's going to be epic. You're going to want to make sure you're there at Dynamic Essentials. Come to all of them. Most of us don't miss DE, so I don't know what more convincing I need to do, but just show up. We want to see you there. It's going to be a great, great night. So we've got DE on tap. We've got a lot of other great things coming up this year as we wrap up 2021. And here down is, a lot of you guys know I represent the Florida Chiropractic Society as their vice president, and Dr. Brian Lieberman has been nice enough to let me have some of my people here the last 3 weeks from Florida. So 2 weeks ago, we had Dr. Marilyn Shore, who was our first ever Walter Aiken Award winner at our FCS holiday party. And then last week, we had Dr. Dana Becksher, who was our BJ Palmer Service Award winner. And I guess we're going to wrap up the year with our final award winner from the Florida Chiropractic Society. And this guy is an absolute stud in the profession. He's a superstar. He's a humble servant. He will drop anything at a moment's notice to support you, to support DE, to support the students. He has a huge outreach to the students. We had a bonfire up there with the students from Palmer, Florida. He dropped whatever he was doing and came up and rocked it on the beach with us, with the FCS. And this guy, he's got a huge practice in Melbourne, Florida. He's a rock star in the profession. Philosophy podcasts, you name it. This guy's everywhere, over in other countries. It's truly an honor to know this guy. And he, speaking of awards, where we were starting out with awards, he was our Florida Chiropractic Society 2020 Chiropractor of the Year. He got the big boy at our holiday party. So this is the Chiropractor of the Year, although I saw a post on Facebook and he said everybody's the Chiropractor of the Year, and I couldn't agree more with his humble showing there. But without further ado, let's get ready to rock with this guy, his passion, his fire, from Melbourne, Florida, our FCS Chiropractor of the Year. Give it up for Dr. Haig John.
Well, that was such a humbling introduction. I appreciate you, Brian. Thank you very much. And that post I made today that, there are a lot of chiropractors out there just serving, and you don't know their names. And, everyone is really servants at heart that in chiropractic, we're called to it. It took me 2 or almost 3 weeks to make a post. My wife made one, and Colin made one, and my CA made one, and I just didn't know how to even express that as being chiropractor. You're acknowledged for something, but it's, the things that I've learned from DE and the amazing people that we've surrounded ourselves with taught me how to be a server, and learning from our DE forefathers, just serve your way through it. And this year especially has been, no one has skipped it. Okay. Unless you're a billionaire and you own Amazon, no one skipped it. And whether you financially were affected, emotionally, we've all been affected this year. And, I felt that I just wanted to serve my way through it. And being a part of chiropractic and serving the people of, the denizens of the earth is what I like to say is the most important thing. And I wake up every morning to get into the office and see the people that need chiropractic. They don't necessarily need me. They need chiropractic properly administered to them. And, today I had a woman, she came into the office. She just, she's a refugee from New York City. And she was deathly afraid she was petrified to be adjusted. She called my CA about 7 or 8 times because she'd been wounded by a chiropractor emotionally and physically, where her adjustment she knew she needed to be adjusted, but the adjustment hurt her. And I really feel that, it wasn't the right time for her to be adjusted by that chiropractor. And God guided her into the moments where I could serve her. Not that I'm better than any other chiropractor, let's put it in that sense. But the right hands in the right time in the right moment, God guided her into that moment and brought her into this office. Maybe even created the pandemic to bring her in. Maybe it's that important that this one person that gets that adjustment, and maybe it's happened in every single one of your offices. That one woman, very light adjustment on her atlas, no drop, her whole system changed. Every single person needs chiropractic care, whether they need an adjustment at the moment or need to be checked for subluxation. Every single person needs a chiropractor. That chiropractic philosophy brings chiropractic servers to the table. Now I know I'm preaching to the choir, if it's the money or the prestige or whatever it might be, we're barking up the wrong tree. And just a few minutes before this one, I have my philosophy podcast, and we've been doing that nearly a year now. I just realized that we're going through, and I'm going back to doing D.D. Palmer's 1914, The Moral and Religious Duty of a Chiropractor. And that moral and religious duty, the more I study D.D. Palmer, the more I understand what he's talking about. And he said distinctly, I'm not trying to create a religion. I don't want to create a religion, but we're acting as if this was a religion. If it is that important for the people, need chiropractic care. And I use the analogy, if you see a nun trip and fall on the ground in front of you, I feel it's my moral duty first to ask her, may I help you? And then to help her if she wishes me to help. If she doesn't wish for me to help, I'd probably stand around and just make sure she's okay. Same thing with chiropractic. With chiropractic, it's my duty to make sure, Josh Siegel, I love you too, brother. And it's my duty to serve the people. It's not to serve chiropractic. Yes, it's serve chiropractic, and I love serving within chiropractic, but it's for the people. And I serve within the realm of chiropractic for the people, because the people for generations to come, lifetimes to come after us, need chiropractic care. The more we do now to educate, the greater that chiropractic acumen, the understanding of chiropractic will be in the future for the students. And the past year, I've been, prior to this previous year, and love you too, Eric, and I was traveling back and forth to Mexico. And I realized the schools in Mexico are absolutely amazing. Very principled schools, amazing chiropractors. The teachers are just absolutely amazing, the staffs. So I was teaching down there, teaching chiropractic philosophy and adjusting. Innate adjusting is what I like to call it. And I realized they're hungry for our philosophy. And same with Brazil. And we need to connect more with Mexico and Brazil and have our philosophy flourish, which it is already there. And maybe in some ways, a lot more than it is in the schools around here. Because when we get in our own way and we want all this scientific stuff, cone beam is cool, right? It's pretty neat stuff. Chiropractic existed a long time before that, and it's going to exist a long time after that. It's not the technology that makes us better chiropractors. It's these things. Our two hands and the philosophy and understanding of what chiropractic really and truly is. If we are not diving into our philosophy at least a little bit every day, and I've spent my time with the old guys in chiropractic. I spent my time with Pasquale Sarasoli, James Sigafus, Clarence Jensen, who Didi Umber told me they went to school together. They were all at school at the same time with Didi, Dr. Sid, and Dr. Nell. And Dr. Nell was in Clearview with Clarence Jensen. And he always said he always wore white socks. No matter what his suit color was, he wore white socks. So they used to call him White Socks. But he taught me toggle. He called it Palmer specific and Palmer X-ray analysis, exactly like BJ Palmer did. And I realized it comes from the chiropractor himself. The something extra comes with knowing who you are as a man or a woman, as a chiropractor. And those things are absolutely paramount. That's why we started the philosophy group and breaking down our philosophy. And what I learned from the old guys, every day they would read a little bit of chiropractic. Just open up a green book. Not a Be a Better Businessman book, which I think is a lot of bullshit and it's driving me nuts seeing everybody, and excuse my language, but all these crazy things about being a better businessman. That's only one hand, and it's the small hand. That's going to come easy. Being a better chiropractor takes work. It takes a lot of work. Studying our philosophy every single day. Getting with people and breaking down our philosophy to understand it. You can give me a quote all day long, and I don't really care about your quote. I want to know how you understand it as a chiropractor. It's time for us to step up our game as chiropractors. And this is my call out to every single one of us, is to be more chiropractic. Study our philosophy. Get involved with students. Bringing this beautiful philosophy to light. If you are an amazing adjuster, getting out and teaching adjusting. I taught adjusting with Arnaud Bernier for almost 12 years, 11, something like that, 10 or 11 years or 12. And I started doing my own seminar when I was in school because I was at Cleveland in LA during the school accreditation thing. And I had 12th quarter students that had no idea how to adjust. They'd asked me to adjust. So I said, come over to my apartment. I'm going to show you what I learned at life. We have to step up our game. And I'm saying that. And that means me. I'm talking to myself because when I'm looking at this, I'm really looking at a video of me. And I look in the mirror and say, today I'm going to step up my game. I'm going to work harder to be better as a chiropractor, as a man, as a father, as a husband, because the people deserve me that way. It's the people that count. It's the people. It's the people that receive chiropractic care. It's the farmer. It's the guy that fixes the roads. It's the woman that might be working in 7-Eleven or Winn-Dixie or Walmart. Or it might be a housewife, whomever. It doesn't matter. We're all, I like that. The rising tide lifts all ships. That was in our room at Life University. Thank you, Josh. So when we look at this philosophy of chiropractic, this is what Didi said. This is page 3, the third page, just jumping into this philosophy of the moral and religious duty of a chiropractor. Chiropractic has pulled aside the curtain of ignorance, which obscured the cause of disease. It is time we lift the veil of superstition, which has obscured our vision of the great beyond. Let's think about that. In time, spiritual existence will be as well known and comprehended as that of the physical world. That's big stuff. That's big stuff. I didn't hear that from BJ. This is big stuff. This is where we left off and where we're getting back to. I love BJ Palmer. I love studying his books. We've in our podcast, we have the videos. We post them on my YouTube channel. It's Innate Express on YouTube. We have all this broken down and read. Volume 33. I love 33s. We all do as chiropractors, but it's Fame and Fortune from BJ Palmer. It's absolutely amazing. And what BJ does is take us through educated to innate. And he wrote this in the 50s where he was really writing in a much more mature way. So brought us through educated into innate intelligence to leave a lot of our educated and think more innately. Going back to Dee is what we did to go from innate into that spiritual consciousness. The spiritual consciousness, and I consider myself a spiritual chiropractor, an innate chiropractor. And that spiritual consciousness is when we're deeper than innate, when we're allowing spirit to communicate to us at 100%, where I'm not thinking as Haig in the office. I'm not Haig in the office. I'm pure spirit. I'm a hollow and empty vessel. I allow spirit to communicate to me. When we get to this philosophy, it's rich, it's deep. When we read BJ, a lot of BJ's work, if you're reading Wayne Dyer or whoever, Deepak Chopra, a lot of the stuff BJ was already talking about. I don't read these other guys' books anymore. Really, they're boring because they're not quite up to the level of BJ Palmer. I'm not going to give some guy $50,000 to go dance on his stage when BJ has already told me this stuff and I take it at full faith. Just like Dr. Sid told us. When's the day we're going to take this at full faith? Chiropractic in full faith. I have waned continually, and I wane all the time in the faith in chiropractic. And I bring myself back to this and understanding my philosophy and remembering the miracles, because there's very often it's the challenges that we remember the most. And I get challenged in the office. People challenge me less and less now through time because I know who I am more as a chiropractor. But we get those challenges through the day. We tend to remember the challenge instead of the miracle. I had a woman bring me a newborn, 1-day-old baby. She had the baby at midnight, and she was in the office at 9:15 in the morning. The most beautiful, refined adjustment. I mean, I posted that video too. That beautiful adjustment changed my life in that moment. It truly changed my life. The miracle wasn't only the adjustment for that baby, but I also realized how much that mother really knew about chiropractic. Home birth, all her babies are adjusted, and she brings that baby as soon as she woke up or probably didn't sleep that night, brings that baby into me. The honor I felt in that, the honor that I felt in it for chiropractic itself, not me personally, but that chiropractic was given by a gift from God. Do you know how many? I don't know how many times actually Dee mentions God and BJ. Chiropractic is spiritual, and there are a lot of atheists, maybe they're satanic worshipers, I don't care, that want to take us away from that. When we get back to this godly presence of chiropractic and the spiritual presence of who we are as chiropractors and our moral and religious duty to serve humanity, chiropractic, when we fall into that and really know who we are, this entire world will change because we will be serving the light. And let me go into that subluxation just for a moment. We talk about often being less than in chiropractic, and I don't like that really, because sub also means under. Lux means light. Ation is the expression of. Under the expression of the light. When we're in a lack consciousness of everybody's less than, and BJ said it, I only see subluxated people. I forgot which book it's in, but he said that. Everywhere I look, I see subluxated people. And now I'm realizing even more. I'm seeing people illuminated by God. With that adjustment, we're helping illuminate the world with God's light. And this might sound heavy. And I know the guy in Europe, if you speak on his stage and you mention God, you never get invited back or whatever. People have said this and said that, and they don't want you to say God. And what about this holy rollers on stage? And I think you go somewhere else. I'm going to speak the way I want to. And what I'm doing is speaking the same ways the chiropractors who invented, who developed, who got the inspiration from God. Inspiration means to bring in spirit of chiropractic, to serve humanity. Last time I spoke at DE, I had a realization before I went on stage that each subluxation is an inspiration or a communication through that neural system of spirit. If that's innate saying ASRA of this atlas, I'm getting a communication from spirit. And I realize I'm getting a communication from universal as well, which is God. Chiropractic, we have learned how to read in that's a very archaic way of understanding a spiritual intelligence manifested through matter, because you matter. That spiritual intelligence communicated through matter, through the vertebra, where some man or woman who's gotten the inspiration to give us these codes to adjust. ASRA Atlas, PR this, AI Ilium. It might sound simple to us. Someone had that inspiration. Let's call it this. Oh yeah, it makes sense to me. Let's think about it that way. Clarence Gonstead, BJ Palmer. So we're getting information from spiritual intelligence every time we put our hands on someone. Every single time. The more I respect that, for me, I feel more humble every single moment. Oh my gosh, thank you, God, for that communication. I'm humbled because I'm just a man. Right now, I'm flesh. I'm not that smart. I don't know how to heal a body. But if I can get an information through innate intelligence to my innate intelligence, the two smartest things that created the cosmos, all the cosmos, with the intelligence of God, is telling me, please adjust me there. Please, this is the one. I don't need extremely expensive equipment. I had a little communication with a friend of mine in the office today about the difference of, the X-ray units and all these different things. And I said, you know what? There's nothing more powerful in these things. And we just talked about that in the podcast today. About there's nothing more intelligent than what things that created you. And when we trust that beautiful intelligence in our fingertips to give us those codes, to give us that understanding, to share codes, we're changing lives. And there's been so many different arguments about you find a different subluxation than that guy. You're not specific because you didn't find the same subluxation as me. Is because or that person's innate trusts you or the other chiropractor in a different way and says, please serve me here. I trust you to do just that subluxation. Please serve me there. You can adjust this subluxation this way. So, I'm on a little bit of a soapbox here because I want, and I know, and I see chiropractic evolving into a juggernaut of service for humanity. The amazing things going down in Mexico. It's just beautiful. I can't wait to get back there. We've been talking about it already and doing innate adjusting there. And Brazil, absolutely amazing. And then all the schools here, all the amazing schools in the US, all the amazing schools in Europe. It's the students. It's the students that deserve principled, straight, philosophical chiropractic, spiritual chiropractic, so they can serve the people. They can serve the people at their highest. And I'm almost done here, and I want to give a couple of plugs because, we work hard on breaking down our philosophy. Tuesday nights, it was a general consensus from people from around the world said Tuesday night, 8 o'clock. Because 9 o'clock, I want to make sure I get on the DE call. I get on this sometimes after a really long day, after our podcast, and I get on and listen to the speaker, and I get inspired from it. I'm blessed. I feel so humbled to be on this, the last one of the year of 2020. I could kick 2020 out of here, and I'm ringing in the new year. And I say ringing in because tone is important. And, getting on the podcast and breaking down the philosophy, and we have them recorded if you can't make it. Now, in the mornings, too, we do our philosophy. We do breaths, and we do meditations and visualizations. And that I have on Spotify. And I do them every morning. They're about 15 minutes, 10, 15 minutes. So we do it live with our staff, with our team in the office, and get on them if you want. And communicate with me. Let's all grow together. We're compartmentalized. I miss you 4 times a year. I get to see people at DE, and I want to see you more. So I get on these podcasts all the time, every Tuesday night at 9 o'clock, after doing mine at 8 o'clock. So the time is right for us as chiropractors. Let's all join together. Let's not work separately. Let's be a team of chiropractors serving the world. Serving the world. If you've been on a mission trip, you know what that kind of feels like. I want to have a consciousness where we're vibrating at that level together every morning when we walk into the office. And, Andy Harding doing the breaths in the morning sets the tone for that, which is pretty awesome too. I love getting on the breaths. Sometimes my kids are loud in the morning. They're up at 5:30 and they are totally on the early morning thing. I mean, it's tough. And getting on the call in the morning, it's loud in my house already at 7 o'clock in the morning. So I don't really say things all the time, and I'm not able to get on every time. But Andy sets that tone by doing the 49 breaths. It's beautiful. So get on the breaths. Get on, start vibrating with us on our Spotify, and you can use those with your team in the morning. The DE call on Tuesdays, doing this with people, doing it with your team, asking them if they want to join in, because everybody has something amazing to share. So I want to just share something that I found in one of my books. My daughter drew a little picture on something. We were somewhere. That's me with no hair, if you can see me on that side. All right. But I wrote this. After a decade of serving a high volume of people, my wounds and limitations started to become more apparent. Then at 50, with a 5-year-old and a 3-year-old, years of work on myself, I saw the limitations and the labels that I began on this journey of healing myself, teaching and showing that I've been I'm on the next part of my journey. My children deserve a loving life. I can't read my handwriting in here, but I'm going to work on myself so I can serve people better. Because it all is an inside job. We've all heard that. Pasquale used to tell me that all the time. It's an inside job. All that stuff you see out there is coming from within you. You don't need to go out there. It's already in here. All we have to do is chisel away the excess, and we have Michelangelo's David. That's in each and every one of us. So it's the self. It's the I am. The more I know myself, the better server I can be. And that server is for the people, for my children, for my wife, for my friends, for my family, for DE, for chiropractic. So that's what I have for tonight. I love you. I appreciate you. God bless you. And I see you unsubluxated, and I see you filled with life and love and filled with God's light. I love and appreciate you. Thank you very much, everybody.
Dr. Haig, John, bring in the fire, baby. Great job, buddy.
Thank you. Thank you. It was my honor.
Dude, that was friggin' awesome. You know, tonight is the full moon, and it's supposed to be one of the most powerful full moons of the year. And I think you corresponded with one of the most powerful Tuesday night calls of the year. So
Well,
thank you so much for your message, man. I love when you talked about the business hand being a little bit smaller. I think a lot of people think that that's the bigger hand. But that really resonated with me when you were talking about that, man. You were breathing fire. That was a great talk, buddy.
Well, thank you, brother. That means a lot to me. I appreciate that.
And I wanted to share real quick because when you got your award for Chiropractor of the Year, I remember seeing the surprise in your face because you had no idea that it would be you. And it was such a nice moment because your wife and kids were there as well to celebrate with you. So it really made for a truly amazing night, and congratulations again.
Thank you, man. I really appreciate that. Thank you very much.
And that will end it for 2020, guys. What a way to kick it off, to end it here with Haig John as we look forward to a much better 2021. But I don't know. I think a lot of us in Florida had pretty good 2020s in our offices.
Yeah.
So changed a lot of lives just in a little different way. So thank you, buddy. Thank you so much for being on tonight, Haig John.
Love you, brother. Thank you.
Chiro broadcast, guys. We'll see you next year.
See you, DE, in January.
Yes.